Hey, Romy here, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Montreal. Welcome to Red Bull cliff diving.
Everyone knows the official timekeeper for the Olympic Games. If you watch Formula One, you are more than aware of the watch brand behind that too. In fact, the collaboration between watches and sport goes back to the beginning of the last century. This past weekend, I had the opportunity to witness a very special collaboration between the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series and MIDO watches. MIDO's Ocean Star collection celebrates its 80th anniversary this year, at the same time that the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series turns 15. For the first time ever, MIDO helped bring the extreme sport to Montreal and to Canada. The result was an adrenaline-filled event with a storybook ending, as sweethearts Molly Carlson and Aidan Heslop each took top prize in their respective events. Even more special was the fact that hometown hero Carlson and Montreal's adoptive son Heslop can actually see the venue at the Grand Quai du Port de Montréal from their apartment only blocks away. The Montreal crowd could not have been more responsive to the results. Red Bull, famous for its association with extreme sport and its meteoric rise to notoriety, could not have found a better partner than they did in MIDO. According to brand CEO Franz Linder, cliff diving and MIDO meet, where precision and performance are reflected in the technological prowess of our Ocean Star models. Despite its 106-year-long history, MIDO presents itself as a fresh face among watchmakers, particularly in North America, where they only recently opened regional offices. Likewise, extreme sport, though growing enormously in popularity, remains the purview of the young. While founded in the 1980s, Red Bull exploded onto the scene in 1992 after the launch of its Red Bull Gives You Wings media campaign. That campaign has penetrated more than 170 countries around the world, and Red Bull now controls 43% of the energy drink market. Aside from cliff diving, Red Bull has a stake in Formula One, NASCAR, and MotoGP, not to mention involvement in a slew of smaller sporting events like windsurfing, parkour, skateboarding, and even breakdancing. MIDO counts 2 divers among its ambassadors on the men's cliff diving tour. The first is Mexican athlete Jonathon Paredes, winner of the overall championship in 2019 and the longest-serving member in the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series with 21 podiums. The second is Aidan Heslop, who currently sits in first among the point standings for 2024 after his win in Montreal, with 2 events remaining in Turkey and Australia.
It means so much to me because I love this sport so much, and the fact that I can really pursue this sport with sponsors like MIDO is something really special to me. And I mean, it just aligns so perfectly as well. The precision of MIDO and cliff diving just go hand in hand. And I think it's one of the best sponsors I've ever had, and I plan to continue this fruitful relationship with them.
We started in 2019. We started a very nice relationship. We started in Philippines, and it was very awesome to have Anne there. And since there, I think it's one of the best families I have. Like, honestly, it's like one of the best brands that I work with. And I'm super proud, and super happy, especially to work with them. And in Mexico,
in addition to their trophies, Montreal champions Carlson and Heslop took home a MIDO Ocean Star 600 chronometer for their efforts. Perhaps no other watch in the MIDO catalog represents the brand so quintessentially, nor aligns so well with Red Bull cliff diving. Few COSC-certified chronometers retail under $2,000. Fewer still are water-resistant up to 600 meters. That's almost 2,000 feet. With highlights like a ceramic bezel insert, Grade X Super Luminova, a helium escape valve, and an anti-magnetic Nivacron balance spring with an 80-hour power reserve, the Ocean Star 600 is a robust luxury diver at an entry-level price. According to Eric Flatcher, who is a member of the RBCDWS International Sports and Event Project Team, the first ever Canadian stop on the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series was 2 years in the making. Countries petitioned Red Bull in order to become one of the 8 stops on the tour. Once a venue has been selected from the petitioners, Red Bull helps guide the host city through the event preparation process. The event manager and the Red Bull team work together as well in the weeks leading up to the competition with venue setup. Between the 2 teams, there are 150 to 200 people working on site to ensure a successful competition. The diving tower in Montreal was established 8 meters above the St. Lawrence River and rose to a height of 21 meters at the first platform, or 7 stories. from where the women jump. A second platform was set at 27 meters for the men. The Montreal platform is unique on the tour as it is the only one supported by a crane. Divers accelerate off the platform at 15.8 kilometers per second, almost as fast as a supercar, and reach speeds up to 85 kilometers an hour in under 3 seconds. When they strike the water, it is with 2 to 3 times the force of gravity. As such, divers must enter the water feet first, and when they do, they create an inverted mushroom cloud like a bomb blast. Safety divers are on hand in the water in case of an emergency. In the end, the Montreal stop was an enormous success for all concerned. A crowd in the tens of thousands watched from the docks and the rooftops, even through a brief rain delay in the late afternoon. For the perseverance, they were rewarded with 2 epic showdowns. Molly Carlson, a Thunder Bay native who now lives and trains in Montreal, held off 7-time champion Rhiannon Ifland of Australia, and Aidan Heslop, the Welshman who now calls the Canadian city his home, edged out reigning champ Constantin Popovici of Romania.
This is so special, you know, to win at home, to win in general is special, but then to win in front of a home crowd is everything, you know, and I think at the end of the day, it's a dream come true and a fairy tale that Aidan also won, and we can go home and celebrate together. What I would say to everyone watching today is I hope this inspires you to do what you love and to go out there and absolutely fall in love with what you're doing, because you're going to be even more successful if you love what you're doing. So
It's actually a hometown victory for you, but it's an adoptive hometown victory. Does that mean something special?
Yeah, I mean, I've been here for 2 years now, and to do it in front of what I would like to call a home crowd, and our apartment is just over there in the background, so it's a real pleasure diving in front of the Montreal crowd, and winning alongside Molly is something super special to us.
In a sport that requires absolute perfection in performance, MIDO strikes the ideal chord in its partnership with the Red Bull Cliff Diving World Series. The brand has been working with the series since 2019, and it is easy to see why. The watchmaker and the sport share the same obsession: to push the limits of precision.